Welcome to a very special episode of 50 Shades of J. It's special because I am going to eat this hamburger that I bought at 7-Eleven at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's a bacon cheeseburger. Looks interesting. I think it's going to taste like smeat, because there's nothing real in that. So this chapter is all about the contract between Mr. Christian Grey, the dominant, and Miss Anastasia Steele, the submissive. Very long, many pages, a lot of it's very simple legalese. It's really funny because if this book was more intelligently written, you would think that it's satire, but because it's basically beginner's level comprehension required, you just kind of know in your soul that it's just stupid and not satire. It's just insane. It's mental illness as writing. I think she did this as therapy. Anyway, the one thing I thought was interesting is that the contract is only effective for 3 months. So at the end of the 3 months, she can choose to terminate the contract, or he can. He gets her Friday nights through Sunday afternoons, which, good on him, because he works very hard. And so does she at her hardware store. The dominant part of the contract I thought was the thing you need to know. The interesting part that isn't going to make this 20 minutes long. The dominant may discipline the submissive as necessary to ensure the submissive fully appreciates her role of subservience to the dominant, and to discourage unacceptable conduct. The dominant may flog, spank, whip, or corporeally punish the submissive as he sees fit, for purposes of discipline, for his own personal enjoyment, or for any other reason which he is not obliged to provide. Boom. No complaining from you, Anna. Isn't that going to be different? Isn't that going to be so hard for you? So hard. Hijinks are going to ensue. We get to the submissive part of the contract, which I thought had the other interesting stuff in it. The submissive shall not touch or pleasure herself sexually without permission from the dominant. The submissive shall accept whippings, floggings, spankings, canings, paddlings, or any other discipline the dominant should decide to administer without hesitation, inquiry, or complaint. He's smart. Smart. Here's where I thought it got interesting. The submissive shall not look directly into the eyes of the dominant except when specifically instructed to do so. The submissive shall keep her eyes cast down and maintain a quiet and respectful bearing in the presence of the dominant. The submissive shall always conduct herself in a respectful manner to the dominant, and shall address him only as Sir, Mr. Grey, or such other title as the dominant may direct. The submissive will not touch the dominant without his express permission to do so. All of those are very interesting, because I know he loves her touching him, and I know he loves her completely irrational brain made of jelly, so I'm surprised he's denying himself that, because she lives in this world that just doesn't exist, and he's obviously has to know that, so it seems like he's pushing off the real parts of her to just get the subdom aspect, and normally in a subdom relationship there's a piece of that person that you want to dominate, or a piece of the dom that you desperately want to submit to. So I feel like a couple of these choices are interesting, and I'm curious to see how they connect to the overall relationship between them. The safe word yellow will be used to bring to the attention of the dominant that the submissive is close to her limit. And the safe word red is used when he pulls out like a Bengal tiger and 3 monkeys, and he's like, all right, we gonna do this. And she's like, nope, red. So that's interesting. We get to Appendix 1. Same stuff as I read to you guys earlier. Then we get to Appendix 3, the soft limits. Appendix 2 were the hard limits, no fire play, no urination, poopies. Appendix 3, soft limits, to be discussed and agreed between parties. Does the submissive consent to masturbation, cunnilingus? Oh. If you try not to chew it very much, it just goes down, and you can use it as food, but When you chew it a lot, it tastes like a cheese diaper. Oh, that's not. Does the submissive consent to masturbation, cunnilingus, fellatio, swallowing semen, vaginal intercourse, vaginal fisting, anal intercourse, or anal fisting? Very standard stuff, you know. Does the submissive consent to the use of vibrators, butt plugs, dildos, other vaginal anal toys? Sure, why not? Bondage with rope, bondage with leather cuffs. Talks about the binding. Binding with spread bar. Now, if any of you have ever played with a spread bar, you'll know that it's good. You put that in the contract. Here's my favorite. Does the submissive consent to the following forms of pain, punishment, discipline? Spanking, whipping, biting, genital clamps, hot wax, paddling, caning, nipple clamps, ice, other types, methods of pain. I've played with a few of those. Never the genital clamps, though. They don't sound fun. I don't like clamping genitals. I like gently rubbing them with my nose, like so. Another bite of the hamburger. Oh. There is bacon. There is bacon in that bite. Just gotta get it down. Just gotta get it down. She finishes the contract. Is disturbed by it. And also her inner goddess is turned on by it. She says inner goddess like literally 13, 14 times in this chapter. Next morning she wakes up and there's a delivery man who's delivering the computer that she asked Christian Grey, because he wanted her to have a computer. She's so rude to this delivery man. Really, at this time? Talking about delivering it early. Only following orders, ma'am. He smiles in a charming but professional, he's not taking any crap way. Did he just call me ma'am? Have I aged 10 years overnight? If I have, it's that contract. My mouth puckers in disgust. Okay, what is it? It's a MacBook Pro. Of course it is. I roll my eyes. I sigh heavily. Like, get the fuck over yourself. Get over yourself. Seriously, you're the worst. So she's really rude to this guy. He's really polite, sets up the computer. She starts emailing Christian, and he tells her, Google being a submissive, and, we'll do this. And he tells her the computer is on loan indefinitely, Miss Steele. And she writes back, I have many questions, but not suitable for email, and some of us have to work for a living. I do not want or need a computer indefinitely. Until later, good day, sir. Some of us have to work for a living? He's like 26 years old and built a multi-billion-dollar corporation from nothing? Go fuck yourself in your fucking hardware job, buddy. And I do not want or need a computer indefinitely. I don't know. She's just not a pleasant human being. So she Googles submissive, and here's our final paragraph of the chapter. Worst thing I've read in this book yet. Half an hour later, I feel slightly queasy, and I know how she feels, and frankly shocked to my core. Do I really want this stuff in my head? Geez, is this what he gets up to in the Red Room of Pain? I sit staring at the screen, and part of me, a very moist and integral part of me that I've only become acquainted with very recently, is seriously turned on. Oh my, some of this stuff is hot. It was capitalized, so do you yell it? Oh my, some of this stuff is hot. But is it for me? Holy shit, could I do this? I need space. I need to think. I hate her. I can't stand her brain and having to read this book. And I really like Christian. That's the thing. His emails to her are funny and playful, and, he does not take himself very seriously at all. And she takes herself so seriously that it's unbelievable that she has ever connected to another human being in her entire life. Well, next chapter, I'm assuming, is going to be more contract stuff. She's probably gonna be 20 pages of her working at the hardware store, brushing her hair, stuff like that. Anyway, that's about it. I don't like her. I don't like the book. I don't like that the rest of the book is going to be from her point of view. But I guess I got to do it. I'm gonna. Book recommendation of this week: the Malazan Book of the Fallen series by Steven Erikson. The first book is called Gardens of the Moon. It's really not the greatest, but then book 2 is one of the best fantasy novels of all time. Read them all. Trust me. Trust me. I'm going to eat this, and then I'm going to go to the bathroom, probably, and then I'm going to die. Maybe I will see you tomorrow.